Five Nights at Freddy's games are renowned for their frightening animatronic threats. In today's video, I'll be ranking the most and least scary animatronics from each FNAF game. And no, I'm not going to add in a bunch of extra information like some other people do. I made this video short so you guys can just get the main points like you came for. This video will not include background or minigame animatronics, along with Help Wanted and Help Wanted 2, because their primary featured characters are from previous games. With that being said, let's get right into it.
But remember, these are just opinions.
Starting off with FNAF 1, the most scary character is Freddy. Freddy's role in the original game basically makes him a boss. His design with black eyes hiding in the shadows is terrifying. His laugh and insanely unpredictable movements also make it that much more scary, which also makes his jump scare one of the best in the series. Now, the least scary is Foxy. His presence in Pirate's Cove could be terrifying sometimes, but Foxy's overall design is less creepy than the others. His attack is very easy to defend against, and his jump scare is just him peeking out from behind a wall. Moving on to FNAF 2, the most scary is Wither Bonnie. Wither Bonnie's missing face and arm combined with his imposing size creates a nightmarish figure. His appearances on cameras are also particularly horrifying. Now, the least scary is Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy's design could actually be considered cute by some, lacking the creepiness factor that's necessary to be scary. He also doesn't have a jump scare, so there's no way anyone could actually get scared by him in the game. Moving on to FNAF 3, the most scary animatronic is Springtrap. Springtrap's design, featuring a rotting corpse trapped in a suit, is one of, if not the most horrifying in the series. His presence is very unsettling despite his jump scare not being that scary. His design, behavior, and lore carry him up to one of the most terrifying in the series. Now, the least scary is Phantom Freddy. The Phantoms in general are not that scary, and they all have very similar jump scares and color schemes. But with Freddy, you can see him directly in front of you before his jump scare, so we're just gonna go with him as being the least scary. Moving on to FNAF 4, the most scary is Nightmare Fredbear. Nightmare Fredbear's sheer size and bright yellow color highlight his terrifying features. His movement in-game is also horrifying, as he creeps up on you slowly after every flash. His laugh and sudden appearances also make him a formidable final boss. Now, the least scary is Nightmarion. We don't get to see much of Nightmarion in FNAF 4, but she doesn't even have a jump scare, as when she kills you, it's just a PNG with an audio playing behind it. On to Sister Location. Now, the most scary is Ballora. Ballora's humanoid design and terrifying song.
Why do you hide inside your walls when there is music in my halls?
Makes her stand out in terms of fear and awareness. Her jump scare is also one of the best in the whole series in my opinion. Now, the least scary is Bonbon or Bonnet. They both have very non-scary designs and are literally puppets. They also just look like less scary versions of Toy Bonnie. Now, Pizza Simulator. The most scary is Scrap Baby. In Pizza Sim, Scrap Baby is very ruined and torn apart, along with having a claw-looking thing, I forgot what it's called, as her hand. And her design is also just terrifying and much scarier than the other animatronics. Now, the least scary is Scrap Trap. Scrap Trap's design overall just fails to invoke fear, and obviously is a rip-off design of Springtrap, making him the least scary character in the game. Ultimate Custom Night. The most scary is Dee Dee or Nightmare Mangle. This one depends. Dee Dee's random appearances and ability to add unexpected characters create a high level of tension and fear. But design-wise, Nightmare Mangle is easily one of the scariest in the franchise. Now, the least scary is Funtime Chica. Funtime Chica's design is friendly and non-threatening, with her attack being just PNGs of her popping up on your screen, trying to blind you, and might I add, Gyo. Moving on to Security Breach. The most scary are the endoskeletons. The endoskeletons is one of the most, if not the most, intense part of the game, as they act like weeping angels, making these endos the scariest characters. Now the least scary is Vanessa, and yeah, this is pretty self-explanatory. She's also not even an animatronic. Now the Ruin DLC, the most scary is Prototype Freddy. Prototype Freddy's design is the scariest in the security breach era, for sure. He's more broken down than any other character in Ruin, and even more than some characters in other games. He's also missing his entire chest as well as his head, making him the most scary. Now the least scary is Mexis. Mexis has one of the least scary designs in the entire franchise in my opinion, and I actually think he just looks more cool than he does scary. Now, the final verdict is the scariest character in all of FNAF is Freddy. Overall, with being based on design, behavior, jump scare, and lore, is Freddy. With Nightmare Mangle or Springtrap as a close second. And the least scary character of all time is Vanessa. Vanessa is the least scary character and she literally does not invoke any fear whatsoever. She is also the least scary character because everyone just wants to smash her.